PlayStation State of Play, we got warnings for spoilers, and we've got Battlefield single-player campaigns. Extra, hear all about it. Hey guys, welcome to the podcast that will never spoil an unreleased game. I'm Matthew, and joining me is the Dean of Games, the Dean Slater on all platforms. Hi, Dad. Hey, what's up? Man, I'm tired. So I'll just let you get on with the introductions. All right. Well, from Twitch's graveyard, we have Gavin.
I forgot this was a thing.
What's a thing?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. This is Extra, your weekly gaming news podcast covering the news leading up to Sunday, February 26th, 2023. And if you like us, you can go to patreon.com/thebriefing room. Let's get to some news. This is the moment that we state our play. PlayStation had a state of play this week. This is in no particular order. Yeah, sorry about that. Normally, I just take notes as I go, and then I organize it based on the order. And A, didn't have time. B, we'll get to when we get to our discussion on this. Okay. Extended look at the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League trailer, is what happened. There was 4-player co-op, which we kind of knew about. We kind of knew about the Battle Pass. They have a gear score mechanic, and it is always online, even if you're playing by yourself. It looks a lot like a Borderlands more than, anything else, and that comes out May 26th. Then there's a humanity where you play as a dog creature named Shiba Inu. You can direct humans as negative portrayal of lemmings. There's 90 levels, a map creator, and it comes out in May. Resident Evil 4 Remake looks faithful to the original and is as beautiful as you would expect, and that comes out March 24th.
Here's my question, though. It seems faithful to the original, but does that mean it's got fucking tank controls?
I don't know.
Because the original had tank controls, and I fucking hated it.
It's very possible. Didn't 2 and 3 have tank controls originally? So
I'm not entirely sure.
So I would imagine it'd be like that.
I don't know about 2 and 3, but I know for a fact 4 had tank controls, and I hated it so much. Only because of the tank controls. That's the only thing that bothered me, because I hate tank controls so much.
Well, Destiny 2 had Lightfall DLC, which we have heard about for a while, and that comes out on the last day of this month, February 28th. Goodbye Volcano High was supposed to release in 2021. We haven't heard about it in 2+ years, but you're basically dinosaur high school seniors trying to figure out your future, and it is coming out June 15th. Baldur's Gate, this trailer was narrated by J.K. Simmons. But otherwise, it's just more Baldur's Gate, and that comes out August 31st. Chia, which is very Breath of the Wild-esque, comes out March 21st. Street Fighter 6 showed off Zangief, who looks as cool as ever. A new fighter named Lily, who is very cute and funny fighter. And then you had Cammy, which shows more clothes can equal more hot. Dad, do I need to talk to Angela about this? I don't worry about it. She knows. Okay. That comes out June 2nd. Naruto Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections, which you play through the entire story, comes out 2023. Wayfinder, which is an online RPG, is having a PlayStation beta on February 28th. And then they showed off 5 VR games. The Foglands, which is a shooter. Green Hell VR, which is reminiscent of The Forest. Synapse, which is an artsy psychic shooter. That's exclusive to PSVR 2. Before Your Eyes, which you play using blinks. As you blink, you move the story forward. That comes out March 10th. Journey to Foundation, which is based on Isaac Asimov's Foundation. That's a shooter, and it comes out in the fall. All right, guys, do you guys have any thoughts on the state of play?
I'm really not all that interested in any of them except for RE4.
Yeah, well, except for the tank controls of RE4.
Yeah, I swear to God, if there's tank controls, I'm so upset. I'm gonna be so fucking upset. Because I loved the atmosphere and just the story of RE4, but oh my God, the tank controls.
Fake horror fan over here. He actually likes action horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, RE4 looks great. I honestly have thought about getting into Resident Evil with the Resident Evil remakes, but there's just so many games that I'm not sure I will be getting into this one, just like I didn't really get into 2 or 3. I really just something about Suicide Squad just really from the first look I got of it, just something I got icky feelings just from the first look we got of it. So all this extra stuff just it doesn't surprise me.
I got even more icky feelings as soon as you said there was a battle pass for it. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
There's no need for a battle pass in that game.
No, or being always online.
Yeah.
That there's no reason for any game to have always online, period.
Well, unless it's like...
Well, if it's a multiplayer game, but this is only multiplayer if you want it to be.
Yeah.
And it's a co-op on top of that. It's not like you're actually going to toe-to-toe with other players.
Like, it's a story-based game. It's not a PvP.
Yeah.
Game.
Also, it's kind of weird that, I understand it's very difficult to do a multiplayer brawler, but it is very weird to me that you have Boomerang Man that doesn't use a boomerang. He uses a gun. You have Harley Quinn who's using a gun, which that's not as surprising. That's something I could see Harley Quinn doing.
It's something that she has done before, so, like, it's not...
Yeah. You have the shark, Killer Shark, is using a gun.
Which makes no fucking sense.
No.
Because he's a fucking shark. No he is a man shark. Like...
And then not only that, he's a shark. He's a giant fucking shark. And he's jumping around like he weighs nothing. In what they showed. So
And
Yeah,
I just attribute that to comic book bullshit. But like, Killer Shark using a
yeah,
gun is like, what? Why? What's the point?
yeah. Um, although as a from what I've from what I saw, uh, as a as a as a Borderlands clone, it doesn't look too bad. It's just a weird choice given the characters that they chose and stuff. Like
Yeah.
even take out Killer Shark and replace him with Slade or whatever other name he has. That would make
Deathstroke.
sense. Deathstroke, that's it. That would make sense too.
I'm gonna assume you only remembered Slade because of Teen Titans.
Teen Titans, yeah.
That's
That's
how
exactly
I
what it
always
is.
remember, dude. I'm always like, fuck, what's his name? Slade from Teen Titans. And like, it was
Yeah,
so
it's
bad.
Deathstroke, yeah. But Humanity looked interesting. Again, you're playing as like this magical dog directing humans who cannot think for themselves. And it's like a puzzle game. And the fact that they have a map creator at launch is going to just expand the life of that game. But I really was excited when we first got a look at Volcano High. This particular trailer, Volcano High, kind of dulled my excitement a little bit for that. Never been. I tried the original Destiny, never got into it, so never tried Destiny 2. But I'm excited that they're still getting DLC. That is great for Destiny fans. Baldur's Gate, really have nothing to say about that. Chia looks interesting.
All I can think of when I hear that name is Chia Pet.
Yeah,
In the commercial. Chia.
Yeah, exactly. But let me tell you, Street Fighter 6, I'm not a fighting game person. Street Fighter 6 is looking good. And like I said, Cammy can crush my skull any day.
Dog, your kid is right there.
I know. Who cares about Naruto? So I'm just gonna skip through that. Trash anime.
Dude, if your wife was there right now.
Oh yeah. No, I say it to my wife, to her face. She knows how I feel about Naruto.
Don't worry, I have the same feelings about Naruto.
Yeah. I mean, anyone with a brain has that feeling about Naruto. Wayfinder, I had my big, online RPG time back when I was in high school. Now it's just kind of like, I cannot get involved with this. I will literally lose my entire life. Foglands did not really interest me. Green Hell did interest me. Did you ever look at that? I told you to take a look at that. That's the one that looks like the forest, but VR.
How often do I remember to look at things that you tell me to look at?
Fair.
Like, why you even ask? Like, you told me to look at it. If I don't look at it immediately, I didn't look at it.
Synapse, you have psychic powers, so you can like throw people, but and your psychic powers are like purple, and the enemies have like kind of a red color to them, but the rest of the world is kind of black and white, which is kind of cool. And then I've heard great things about Before Your Eyes because it's on Steam, but on Steam it uses webcam. And this is actually in VR, and like I said, you change the story with blinking. Like that's how you play the game, is by blinking at certain times and stuff. So I feel like VR probably is better experience for that game.
Dude, that would suck for me, honestly, because like the amount of times I've used like filters and shit that like, yeah, just blink your eyes. I don't blink my fucking eyes, but it thinks it does
It
because
could be
I have very low set eyebrows and my eyes are kind of thin. So like, I could just like not even be fucking. I could just be like kind of like making a face or whatever, and it's like, oh, he blinked. I'm like, no, no, damn it.
It could be worse. It could be your former roommate.
Oh my god.
I didn't mean to skip. I didn't mean to skip. Go back.
I need to get this game now. I need to get him to play this. I want to see this happen.
And then I don't have a whole lot to say about Journey to Foundation. It looks interesting, but I don't know too much about Isaac Asimov's work. But yeah, it was, as far as the presentation. That's my thoughts on the games themselves. As far as the presentation, I've mentioned before, I don't judge presentations based off of whether I'm excited about the games or not, because chances are there's someone excited about the games that are shown. So for me to grade based off of something as subjective as that isn't necessarily something I want to do. I want to try to be a little bit more objective, and so I usually judge based off of pacing. Boy, this presentation did not have great pacing. And something Blessing Adeoye Jr. from Kinda Funny said that I kind of agree with, is it kind of felt like this whole presentation was marketing obligations more than, need. And I kind of agree with that. That's kind of how it felt, where it even as far as like on PlayStation's side, it almost seemed like PlayStation's like, oh yeah, we said we'd do this, so I guess just put together something, There wasn't a lot of pop to it.
Felt half-assed.
Yeah, and then what really sucks is, all of this, goes on in this, presentation. And then, what was it, like an hour or two after the presentation, Warner Brothers Games announces that not only are they making a Mortal Kombat 12, but it's coming out this year. It's like, that could have been a pop. That could have like really changed the whole dynamic.
It wasn't even a big announcement. They just kind of mentioned it offhandedly. It was like we're working on Mortal Kombat 12. Like just listing it off. It was like, what? Hold on.
Yeah,
get back to that.
Yeah, that could have been a pop here. Like,
exactly.
Just a injection of, the excitement that was really not present in this thing, as far as pacing. But, it is what it is. It'll be interesting to see what PlayStation does more mid-year, when, they're a little closer to having some of their own games come out. All right. Matthew? Okay, this is a warning to all fans out there. And again, as I mentioned at the beginning, I'll mention here again, we are not going to spoil you. But, warning, Tears of the Kingdom spoilers are out there. They're just out there now. The initial post was from Just Julian Offick. on Reddit, and this was on Sunday, had been sent an interesting look at the art book included with the collector's edition of the game. The book is over 200 pages in length. His or her post, was eventually deleted by moderators, but the images, of course, because it's the internet, are still circulating. So be careful. Mute words that you need to mute on whatever social platform you have, or just don't use social media because it's just a hell zone of negativity.
Mm-hmm.
But people who wrote about this were Rory Young from Game Rant, Ollie Reynolds from Nintendo Life, Hope Bellingham from Games Radar, Chris Scullion at BGC, and Adam Bankhurst at IGN. Yeah, so this is terrifying. As someone who loves Zelda in general, I hate this. But I almost also feel like part of it is Nintendo, because, leaks are going to happen regardless, obviously. But I feel like...
Was that a guitar in the background?
No, that was a clock.
Oh. It sounded like he just went up to a guitar and smacked the strings.
Yeah, no, it was a clock. If Nintendo wasn't so tight-lipped about this, what's actually going on in the game, because we know, for all the trailers and stuff they've shown of the game, we know next to nothing about it. We know that it's using...
I still want to know if it's Matt Mercer doing Ganondorf yet.
Yeah. I'm not sure we're going to get to that until they actually, until the game comes out. I'm not sure. He'll be able to announce it, and I doubt they'll want to announce that.
Yeah.
But they, we know that it's using the same map and the same physics engine. And we know that Ganondorf's in it, and that there's a sky zone and possibly an underground. That's it. We don't know if we're going to have traditional dungeons. We don't know about weapon durability. We don't know, we don't know if we're still going to have shrines like we did in the first game.
We don't know if Matt's involved.
We don't know if Matt Mercer's involved. It's just...
literally all I care about.
It's just crazy how little we know for how much we've seen. And so I will say, if Nintendo just showed a little bit more, I'm not even saying oh, here's a breakdown of the entire story. I'm just saying, hey, what's it going to look like? The actual game. We've barely gotten any gameplay.
Yeah, Nintendo, stop being such a prude. Show a little more skin.
That being said, this kind of stuff just sucks. Why you gotta... Even if one of your friends who probably, I'm assuming their friend, is part of the printer that's printing out the art. Even if you have a friend sending you pictures of the art book, why you gotta post them online?
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to gain? I know what you have to lose, because Nintendo is going to find you, and they will end your life. As far as legally, they will end your life because you'll be paying their lawyers for the rest of your life. But you have a lot to lose. What do you legitimately have to gain? Outside of
people being mad.
Well, even then, just some notoriety, I don't understand what the end game here is.
People do stupid stuff in the search of fame.
Yeah, it's just fucking hell. Oh man, you have any thoughts on this leak? Or
Unless they told us who's playing Ganondorf, and unless it's Matt Mercer, I don't give a shit. That is quite literally all I care about. I've never played a Zelda game because I just have not been interested in Zelda. But if Matt Mercer's playing Ganondorf, dog, I might play it.
yeah. If Matt Mercer is playing it and you had a chance to play the game, would you play the game?
Fuck yeah, I would.
Let's see. Oh yeah. So one last story. I'll take it over from here, Matthew. One last story for us to have a short little discussion on. That you'll probably have something to say about. How do you feel about DICE being a co-developer on a Battlefield single-player campaign?
Don't know who DICE is. Don't care about Battlefield.
Oh, well, DICE normally makes Battlefield, but they are not. They are only going to support Ridgeline Games on making a Battlefield single-player campaign.
Well, hopefully they do good, because obviously their last Battlefield game did not do too good.
No, but to be fair, their last Battlefield game did not have a campaign. It was multiplayer only, and they charged $70 for it instead of making it free to play, like every other one of their competitors.
We'll see what happens. Hopefully they can pull a win, because they definitely need it.
They certainly do. They certainly do. It's weird because initially, it looked like they lost the biggest when, because they, Halo, and Call of Duty all released within 2 weeks of each other. Like, it was Call of Duty, then 2 weeks later it was Halo, and then 2 weeks later it was Battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
And they got so lucky in the fact that Call of Duty was one of the worst, reviewed Call of Duties in recent memory.
Which one was
Vanguard.
it again?
I believe Vanguard.
Yeah, Vanguard was just trash.
But then Halo came out, and Halo, when it first came out, was really good. The only thing people had a complaint about when Halo first came out was they did not like the way the Battle Pass was run, because the Battle Pass was based on, rather than success in matches, it was based on doing specific tasks in matches.
Fuck that.
And then
so like you could do not a single task and win, and it'd be like you suck.
Yeah, you won't get any points. But then they went and they had the worst of the 3 games. But now, they've gone back and they've fixed some stuff. And actually, out of those 3 games, I'd say at the moment, they're in the best position, but people have already moved on.
Right.
So it's just kind of funny. They started out the worst, and now out of the 3, they probably are in the best position, but no one cares anymore because they didn't get it right when they first came out. And that's just been kind of the history of Battlefield.
I was never a big Battlefield fan, but I touched it. I touched it at least.
Yeah.
Never touched a Halo game. Was never interested. Call of Duty, growing up, I played the absolute dog fuck out of Call of Duty. And honestly, I did not fucking care for any other Call of Duty pretty much after around high school, because I was like, I'm just not into it anymore. It's just the same rehashed shit over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And like people can claim, oh no, they changed things. Like, yeah, they add things that suck. And the only good stuff is the same rehashed shit over and over again.
Yeah.
I was like, when this latest Call of Duty came out of the DMZ mode, I was intrigued and I played a lot for a few weeks, but like there wasn't enough going on to really want me to keep playing it. And it was just kind of repetitive. It's one of those things where like you do the same thing over and 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 over again. You're just like, fucking done.
Yeah. They something that was pointed out, not necessarily Battlefield related, but kind of Battlefield related, is something that was pointed out recently on one of the podcasts I listened to. I can't remember which one it was. That actually made me go, huh, I never thought about that. Titanfall 2 released right next to Call of Duty and Battlefield and just got swamped. And now they release a spin-off of Titanfall in the Titanfall universe, and it is competing hard against Call of Duty and just destroyed Battlefield, and that's Apex.
Speaking of which, Apex was dying out a lot until this new season where they changed a bunch of shit, and now they've hit their all-time peak.
Yeah.
It's been 4 years, and they hit their peak.
Crazy.
They've got, like, when it first came out, they said they had plans for the next 20 fucking years. We're almost a quarter of the way through that, and, like, there's still just shit tons of people playing.
Yeah.
I'll say a lot. You have your Fortnite kids and your Apex kids, but Fortnite kids will be like, it's not as good as Fortnite. It's like, look, Apex be keeping up there.
Oh yeah, they're consistently up there.
I have known people that have played both, but have stayed with Apex more than I know people who have played both and stayed with Fortnite. At that time.
Yeah.
I'm not saying one's better than the other, but like, because I'll give Fortnite credit in the fact that it allows for a lot more diversity and interesting situations to happen.
Yeah.
And it's a very goofy game. Like, it's just a feel good, like, even if you fucking, like, die, like, you're just there to have fun. Apex is more of a serious game. There's some goofiness to it, but it's more serious than Fortnite is.
Yeah.
Which is why you get paired up with a lot more kids on Fortnite than you do Apex. I don't think I've ever played with a kid on Apex. Like, for a random. Never. But I have heard through my little brothers playing Fortnite, a lot of kids on Fortnite.
Yeah.
So, I feel like they're very similar in each of their own respects, and they all do their thing. But you can definitely tell that Apex is more catered to adults and later teens than Fortnite, which is catered more to kids.
Yeah. All right. It's time to close this out. If you liked, or even if you didn't like this podcast, make sure to do all of the things like hitting the like button and hitting the bell on or at the XofPlays on YouTube, or giving it a high rating on whatever podcast service you use so you can find like-minded people. Be sure to tell people about the show. Word of mouth is the best way to help us grow. And I brought it up before, but on patreon.com/thebriefing-room, you can financially support the show and get cool rewards as well. That's all from us. Take care.